Big Dong Zhao here. Gonna do some item farming and XP farming. In my last video, I kind of made the case why it's a lot better to gear up your character before your level up, because within the first 30 minutes to an hour, you can get some pretty significant item upgrades by farming bandit captains on lower difficulty. That's what I recommend. As soon as you're level 10, first investing in Bearclaw charms, which increase your item drop rate, and then lowering the difficulty, and then going to a wilderness area like this, and farming level 15 to level 20 bandit captains, bandit chiefs, for about 30 minutes to an hour, because you can get your first tier 3 weapon upgrade really quickly. And the amount of stat bonuses you get from a tier 3 weapon are 3 to 4 times more than the first 30 levels of experience will give to your strength or defense. So you'll get a much bigger improvement to your character by getting a few basic weapon upgrades, like your tier 3 weapon. And then I recommend first investing in Bearclaw charms so that you can gear up. And then once you have 3 Epic Bearclaw charms, I recommend investing in XP belts, the wolf belts. And then I really like this one. It's called the Heaven and Earth Gauntlet. It helps bandit captains interrupt your character a lot while attacking. So this accessory helps it so you don't get interrupted. So your main focus in the first couple hours of the game should be farming bandits on lower level difficulty with Bearclaw charms, while also getting resources. So your main focus will be getting on the right, you see the Yibiqian Coins, and then also getting epic ores like silver and gold dust, because the Yibiqian Coins let you buy the recipes for tier 3 weapons, and then the resources are used to craft them, and you get them from here.
好东西应有尽有.
So by lowering the difficulty and by using Bearclaw charms, you can get your first tier 3 weapons within 30 minutes of being level 10 or so, really quickly. And then by investing in Bearclaw charms and Epic Bearclaw charms, you can much more significantly get many more coins so that you can get all your combat upgrades, and that'll help you level up faster. So that's pretty much why I recommend gearing up your character before you level up, because you can gear up on low difficulty with just Bearclaw charms by just riding around and killing some low level bandit captains. And you get a significant number of epic accessories or your epic tier 3 weapons, even at level 10, by just using Bearclaw charms on low difficulty. And then you use those upgrades so that you can go up here and fight high level bandits. And this is how you get the Yibiqian coins much faster, but especially how you get XP a lot faster. So now that I have the Epic Bearclaw charms and my tier 3 weapon, I'm gonna just do a little bit of item farming to show how quickly you get the coin collector coins that you used to buy all these epic upgrades, and then I'll switch over to my XP build. And again, your main focus is as much on resources as it is on bandit captains, because most of the tier 3 weapons will face a resource crafting bottleneck. They all require epic resources like silver and Heliodor, and these spawn based on location. So like, I still don't even have Dong Zhao's epic tier 3 weapon yet, because I haven't found any Heliosite. But silver is pretty abundant, and yeah, I found lots of gold. The resources spawn based on location. So there's lots of silver up here, and gold dust and Heliodor. I found they're kind of spawn in here, whereas they don't spawn over here. So that's why whatever weapon that you do craft, it doesn't really matter. Ideally you want to craft your favorite weapon, but for your first upgrade, any of these, whichever one you can afford, whichever one you have the resources for, is going to be a huge upgrade over your starter weapons. And a level 10 character with any of these will be stronger than a level 60 character that is still using weapons from the story. So that's why, in the first 2 hours of the game, you can have a really strong level 10 character by just doing a few optional leveling things. By, doing low-level bandit captains to get Yibiqian Coins, and then buying your epic accessory and your tier 3 weapon upgrades. And that'll let you come up here to fight really high-level bandits. And the sort of gameplay loop is you're just kind of riding around any of these wilderness areas, and you're looking for bandit chiefs or any named enemy captains because they drop items faster, and also looking for epic resources, because anytime you're away from the towns, epic resources can drop a lot more abundantly. See, right here. So you're just kind of riding around looking for those, while also looking for named enemies. And it's good to change the difficulty. When you're level 10, it's okay to put it on beginner when you're item farming, because the whole point is that you want to be able to get higher level item drops. So when you put it on beginner, you can take your level 10 character and farm level 20 bandits or level 30 bandits and get those Yibiqian coins at a much faster rate. But once you get a few upgrades, you can crank it back to normal. And then once you want to do XP farming, you really want to have it on chaos, because enemies drop significantly more XP on hard and chaos than they do on normal. So I'm going to put it on normal first to show some item farming, and then I'm going to switch it to chaos when I'm doing the XP farming. I'm riding past the groups without chiefs because the chiefs are the ones that really drop items faster. See, that guy was level 40. I'm level 33, and I basically one-shot him because I'm using you could call it a stealth or a surprise attack build. I really like this for bandit farming because bandits are pretty annoying to fight. They interrupt you a lot. That's also why I recommend for your XP build getting the Heaven and Earth gauntlets as soon as possible, because if you don't insta-kill them, they're going to stun you or flinch you a lot. So, that's why it's good to gear up first, because if you can get, your plus XP belts, then get 1 or 2 combat items, like resist enemy attacks while attacking, it'll make XP farming a lot easier. But I use kind of a stealth build. You can see I use all poison gems. And you look at the bottom left, it gives me basically double surprise attack damage, and then an extra 150 damage when I do a surprise attack. So that's why I basically just insta-gibbed that bandit captain. So he was a hero enemy, so they have significant HP, like a captain. And then he was also 7 levels higher than me, and we're still on normal difficulty. And I basically one-shot him because I'm using a surprise attack build that basically doubles my surprise attack damage. I use a lot of stealth down here. It's just strength pills as well. They're pretty cheap and they give you a nice bonus. You can take out these groups as well. They can drop items still, especially that you're using 3 Bearclaw charms. Again, this is why I recommend this being your very first investment in the game, is because even the simplest enemies will then drop coins and stuff. But it's better to focus on the ones with chiefs or captains because they drop the on the you can see on the right the Yibiqian coins. The main gameplay loop up here is actually mostly looking for named enemies and looking for epic resources. Sometimes they spawn a lot, sometimes they don't. So, you know, whether you're like still level 10 and looking for level 10 to 15 bandits, like I like down here, but any wilderness area in between towns. So whether you're doing level 10 to 20 bandits, or up here looking for level 30 to level 60, the main gameplay loop is you're going to be riding around looking for named bandits, so bandit chiefs usually, which are officer or captain level, and they drop the coins at a higher rate. And then you're mostly looking for epic resources. And the main ones you're looking for is the ore. You know, the plants don't matter that much. You know, you're going to get a shitload of those before you can even use them. The gems, the jewels are useful because they let you craft gems for your weapon upgrades, but honestly, you're going to have way more gems before you have scrolls to actually craft them with. So I have a shitload of epic gems, but I have no crafting recipes because you can't buy the crafting recipes from the merchants. You can only craft the epic weapon recipes. So again, that's why it's not that important to focus on the other resources because you can't really rush to them the same way. You can only really rush to your tier 3 weapon upgrades. So when you're riding around, don't worry too much about trying to pick everything up or trying to pick up, you know, plants and gems and the other resources. you're basically just looking for epic ore, which will look like the little rock icon on the minimap. And again, you're only looking for the yellow ones. The legendary is purple, and then blue is rare, and kind of like the colors are the same as a lot of online RPGs. But you're basically just riding around looking for the yellow ones, while also looking for bandit captains. So again, I'm like level 30, and it's on normal difficulty right now, but I'm farming like up to level 60 bandit chiefs. And you can see like I had about 100 Yibiqian coins when I started, and I already have 134, so that's already enough to get 2 tier 3 weapon upgrades. So again, you can, if you start the game in about the same amount of time it takes you to complete chapter 1 by just going directly to do bandit farming, you can already have your tier 3 weapon the first few hours of the game. And a tier 3 weapon will be a tier 3 weapon on a level 10 character is probably stronger than a level 60 character with a weapon that you still have from the story. So it's much, much faster to focus on gearing up your character before you level up or by doing the story. And you can see by how often he interrupted my character while I was trying to attack. That's why I use a stealth build. Again, the 100 plus 100% surprise attack damage plus an extra 150 surprise attack damage is because if you go into engage them head to head, they're gonna stun you a lot. So that's why I focus on a stealth build using all poison gems to get a huge surprise attack damage, because if you do a successful surprise attack, you can often one-shot them. Or as soon as you do your surprise attack, it triggers a finisher, which basically insta-kills them. Because if you don't insta-kill them, then you have to deal with them just like I did. It's kind of an annoying fight. And that's also why I recommend that after you invest in your tier 3 weapon and the 3 Epic Bearclaw charms, your very first combat upgrade should be the Heaven and Earth gauntlets. Because if I was wearing those instead of my item farming gear, if I was wearing the Heaven and Earth gauntlets, all those interruptions, they wouldn't have interrupted me. I would have been able to attack through them. And it's significantly easier to level up using the Heaven and Earth gauntlets. But I'm focusing on item farming right now. But again, that's why I have a stealth build, and that's why I recommend doing an item farming build first, so that you can get your anti-interruption gauntlets and also these 3 or 4, the XP bells. Because if you wear 4 of them or 3 of them, you're going to be leveling a lot faster. So again, that was a lot faster than the last time because I did this successful surprise attack. And again, I'll try to do that for most of them because the bandits up here are usually anywhere between 10 to 30 levels above me. So they will interrupt you a lot if you don't use a surprise attack build. But if you use a surprise attack build like this, you can take them out pretty quickly often. So again, that's how you're supposed to do it. You don't let them have a chance to interrupt you. That kind of, again, emphasizes why surprise attack damage is so useful in bandit farming, because bandits, especially when they're 10 to 20 levels higher than you, they block like a bitch, and they interrupt you a lot. So when you do surprise attack damage, you can almost insta-kill them. So the efficiency difference between a surprise attack and not a surprise attack is sometimes the difference between like a 10 to 20 second fight or a 2 to 3 minute fight. You can also do a lot of hunting up here, and if you look at the top right, where you see kind of look like elk antlers, I guess. Maybe not deer. They're a bit big for deer. The elk antlers, you can use those to get upgrades, and you can unlock a lot of either Yibiqian coins or other coins, or you can also unlock a lot of gems. And actually, most of the poison gems I got, especially these two, I got them from hunting points. And by doing maybe 10 or 20 high-level tigers or something, you can get a significant number of gem unlocks. And again, I got most of these within the first 5 hours of the game or so. Just by, again, focusing on either Yibiqian coins with the coin collector merchant, or focusing on the hunter points merchant. You can get a lot of really high level items really early in the game by just doing a few optional hunting things. So this is what the epic resources you're looking for is. You can see purple is legendary, and the yellow line with the yellow butterflies, those are epic. And you can't see the downward arrow from very far away, but you can see the butterflies from a kind of a far distance away. So when you're riding around and looking for bandit captains, you're basically looking for yellow butterflies, and if you look on the mini-map, you can see the shape of the ore icon. That's basically what you're looking for. The other icons are not that important. So I got some silver. And again, for context, these are the tier 3 weapons that you can get really early in the game. You only need about 6 silver, 4 gold dust. So again, you only need to find... you only need to find those about 10 times. And if you get lucky, you find a cluster. And a cluster has 10 to 15 all spawned together. And you'll find those maybe every 15 to 30 minutes or so. But you could probably have enough to craft your first tier 3 weapon. And at least, definitely in under an hour. But maybe as low as 30 minutes with a little bit of luck. And that means, like, as soon as you reach level 10, with just about 30 minutes to 1 hour of work, you can get 4 to 5 times more of an improvement to your attack and defense than you would spending 30 levels leveling your character. I've spent about 25 hours now leveling this character. And I've only got 100 stat points to spend. I've got about 35 here. And then 59 unspent. Because I'm saving it. Because if you look at the sword icon on the left, where it says 820, the game has a attack damage cap. Where it can't go above 9999 or 999. So when I'm already at 820, there's no point in upgrading this more if I'm going to hit the 999 cap just based on item upgrades. So I'm saving my points until I get all my max level items. and then I can use my points to make sure I don't waste any points above the cap. But again, I'm level 33, and I've got just under 100 stat points to spend. So that could be 100 attack or 100 defense. But if you look at the difference between my starter weapon, 100 attack, 50 defense, and the weapon I'm using, it's 330 and 280. That's almost 400 stat points better. You're looking at 30 levels worth of stats, giving you 100 points, or a simple tier 3 weapon upgrade, giving you 400. So you get a much bigger... This game is very, very item heavy. So that's why it's way more useful to focus on gearing up than leveling up. I have a lot of the HUD turned off, just because I think it's unnecessary. It's kind of ugly, actually. Like, this is the default HUD. Actually, the way I prefer to play is like this. And I'll use the mini-map sometimes if I'm really trying to find resources, because it's hard to, it's hard to see them just manually. But when I'm leveling up, I usually turn off the mini-map as well, because the game looks a lot nicer. These tigers are actually pretty strong. animals in this game, they have a absolute ton of HP and defense. They're actually not that great to farm for either XP or for items. And they're more weak to bow attacks. So they're kind of designed around bow attacks. So generally that's why I've been ignoring them. They don't really give good item drops. They don't give the Yibiqian Coins that you use to get most of your epic weapons and accessories. They're not dropped by tigers or anything. So they're not very efficient to farm. The main reason you kill wild animals is for the hunter points, which are on the top right. And I actually almost have them maxed out. You get about 30 different unlocks by like 30 different rewards for getting hunter points. And I have all of them unlocked except for 2. And the last 2 are at 8,500 and then 9,000 hunter points. And they're 2 poison gems. And I already have, quite a lot of poison gems. So I don't really have many unlocks left from hunting. So that's why I've been mostly ignoring them. But when you're farming items on low difficulty, it's good to throw in a few lower level tigers and stuff, because the first 5,000 or 6,000 hunter points you'll get some pretty good upgrades, especially from some gems. And the hunter merchant also gives you Yibiqian Coins to spend on items. But I tend to focus on bandits. If you look close, you can see, this game has really shitty graphics for the most part, to be honest. The character models are PS3 level. The amount of poor geometry, the aliasing on the geometry angles, and the geometry clipping. So many characters have horrible clipping. Like even Zhongfei, his default stance looks like this. Like, I don't know how this makes it past quality assurance, where a default character stance can look like this. But despite it having pretty shitty graphics, there are, a few nice touches. There's a lot of nice texture work. Some of the characters have really beautiful patterns or silks and furs. And you can see your characters also get kind of dirty. You can see the mud on his sleeves and his legs. And once you turn off a lot of the HUD, the mini-map and all that shit, the game has its moments. The game actually has a really large amount of weather variety. There's windstorms, there's rainstorms, there's snow, there's fog and mist, there's really bright sunrises, when it rains right before sunset and or sunrise, and all the humidity in the air really lights up, or the game has some really nice weather effects and some mud effects and stuff. So overall the game, it's a really poorly produced game with some pretty shitty polish. But it, speak of the devil, it's starting to rain. But the game does have its moments, or it does look kind of nice. Oops. Using you can also equip almost any weapon. So that's one nice thing. It's kind of like a lot of the past Dynasty Warriors, you can equip other characters' weapons. So like, this is actually Dong Jiao's default weapon. But I don't have the epic version of his yet. So that's why I've been using this one. This is actually another character's weapon. But it's by far the highest attack power that I've crafted so far. But any of these are pretty useful, actually. You can see how much they interrupt me though. That's why I really like to focus on the stealth build. I'll start using the anti-interruption weapon. Makes it a lot easier. That's much easier. Surprise attacks in this game are pretty strong, actually. So it's not really a stealth build per se. Because, I mean, you're not really stealthing around, you're just doing a surprise attack. But it's a really legitimate way to play the game. And you can do quite a lot of damage that way.
Yeah.
Isn't that so much easier and quicker? And if you see now, I'm wearing that epic accessory, and this guy is not normally he would be interrupting me constantly. Like if you saw, my character was always flinching backwards, getting interrupted. But because I focused on gearing up my character first, and I did item farming to get all these different charms, it makes leveling up on high level bandits so much easier. And honestly, in a lot of Dynasty Warriors games, one of the best items to get is always one of the ones that stop interruptions, whether it's from bow attacks or all attacks. But in this game, especially when you're fighting bandits, it's super useful because the bandits interrupt the hell out of you. Because the bandits have really long range, and they do lots of fast, long range interrupting attacks. Using that though, it makes it a little bit annoying because then you have to go pick up items again. It's kind of a waste of a spot, and it has no combat improvement, no item improvement, but kind of a quality of life thing. Is if you want to be more efficient when you're farming items, usually buy yourself a gold crown. It's a random spawn on different merchants in any city, so it's pretty easy to get. I think you can craft one as well, but it costs about 10,000 gold, and if you equip it, it makes all the item drops fly towards you. No, I don't know if it'll do it for items already dropped, but yeah, but you'll see, like from this crowd here, all the new items that drop, they'll instantly fly towards me.
赶尽杀绝！
So you can watch the items. They fly towards me. So it's kind of a quality of life improvement. It makes it pretty efficient. And you see, I've been leveling maybe an hour, and I lost some time when I died to those tigers. But I already have like 250 Yibiqian coins. You know, most of the epic accessories that I bought, they require 100. The tier 3 weapon only requires 15. So you can see why these Bearclaw charms are useful, because so many of these enemies, even the regular bandits, they drop coins now. And you make a lot of money too. Like you can see, I almost have 500,000 gold now. It's because the Bearclaw charms, they don't change how much gold drops per gold bag. It's always 100 or 200 gold. And there's a different item that changes that. And increases the amount of gold that drops in each bag. But the Bearclaw charms do change how often the bags drop. So you can get more, and the big thing is it also makes it so they drop these. So I had maybe 5 or 10 of these to begin with before I started this video. So between the two, I've probably got 10 more. And these sell for almost 10,000 gold each. So again, in maybe 30-40 minutes of leveling, I've made almost 100,000 gold. And that's in large part because I invested my first, 50,000 gold or so into buying some rare Bearclaw charms. And then using those to farm the coins so I could buy the Epic Bearclaw charms. You can see before it said that I found a resource cluster. I mentioned those before. Those are probably the most important things to find when you're out here trying to do your first tier 3 weapon farming. Because I think this one is silver. And just one of these will have over 10 of the item. So if you find even just one of these, that's like enough resources to craft 1 or 2 weapons just by itself.
Yeah.
So I've got quite a few now, almost 300. You know, and the drop rate for these is pretty decent, even without the Bearclaw charms. It's a lot better to use the Bearclaw charms when you're still trying to get items, but I have most of them now. So I'm gonna focus a bit more on leveling. It's kind of annoying, have to pick everything up. Get kind of spoiled by the golden crown item. Honestly, if you added up all the time that you save by not running around, it might be more efficient to have items automatically fly to you, spend less time running around, than to get just an extra 10 XP. But I guess it depends if you really need to pick up most of the items. A lot of them you can ignore. I actually really like the chain sickle. It has pretty good range and area effect, just like Dong Zhao's default weapon. So it kind of matches him. Maybe this is his default weapon. And he still uses it for his special Musou attack. But I like kind of also using the heavenly sickle. They kind of match each other, and it kind of matches all the bandit chiefs. All the bandit chiefs, they also use the chain and sickle. So it's kind of like my bandit farming weapon. The surprise attack build actually you take a pretty big damage cut to your regular attacks. Like, if you look at my bonuses, there's not much actual bonus to all my regular attacks. Or you look at like fire gems. Every single one of these will give plus 25% damage to your regular attacks with fire elemental, and also plus 26 to your Mosa attack. So using 6 fire gems, you'll do a lot more damage with your regular attacks. So that's one reason why my regular, when I'm fighting head to head, it's a little bit slower, because none of my gems really give much head to head combat damage. But that's also why whenever I do a surprise attack, I often one-shot kill pretty much, bandit chiefs that are 10 levels above me. Because every single one of my gems gives surprise attack damage. So it basically doubles my damage. Even a bit more, 109%. Then an extra 150. I don't know how that percentage works, if what order the math is in, but it's a significant improvement either way. Like if I switch weapons to fire gems, I'll do that right here. Like if I use a different weapon that doesn't have surprise attack damage, it won't be nearly as fast. But he still has 2 HP bars left. He's pretty effective head-to-head, but you really appreciate the surprise attack damage from all those poison gems. So, the surprise attack, even without poison gems, can probably still be pretty useful, but I don't think it doesn't as reliably do finishers. So, no finisher, no insta-kill. And switch back to the sickle with all the surprise attack damage bonuses. Now these are level 31, so technically they are 2 levels lower, but I don't think that changes their HP much. And they'll die so much faster from the initial attack. I don't think poison gems are optimally going to be the best build, because I think once you get the best accessories, like the resist enemy attacks while attacking, I think it matters a lot less to use surprise attacks. And I think you can do enough damage in head-to-head once you get all the best fire gems that you'll probably be able to kill the bandits faster with a perfect build with a fire gem weapon. The reason I like the poison build is because, especially when you're leveling up, and let's say you're not using the best accessories, like the best combat accessories, but when you're using XP bonus accessories or item drop bonus accessories, then you don't have all the combat bonuses like that help with all the enemy interruptions or the enemy stunning. So when you have to deal and mitigate all the enemy stunning, that's really where the surprise attack builds help. So I think surprise attack, poison build weapons are probably the best when you're farming items or farming XP. But when you really want to go full out and have like your best combat accessories, then I think fire gems are probably better, because then you can really stand head to head and not worry about interruptions, and you can focus purely on damage and not on surprise attacks and avoiding all the stunning and interruptions. So I think that's important to clarify, that I'm a big fan of the poison surprise attack builds for item farming and XP farming, or especially when you're 10 levels or lower than the enemies, because then they stun you like hell, and it's really important to avoid fighting them head to head and just insta-killing them. But optimally, I think the perfect builds for the maximizing damage will not be poison attack. The enemies here, they can go all the way up to level 60. Kind of like those tigers that killed me before. But it kind of varies. And enemies will usually come in swarms. Like you might get lots of soldiers here. And then over here might be tigers. It's random, but you'll have like big areas of just one type. Like all bandits, or all tigers, or all deer. Then you go a little farther and it'll be all bears or all golden tigers. and then you come up here, it might be a different type of tiger, or it might be bandits again. So you're they kind of spawn in large pods, and the levels usually kind of group together. So right now it seems to be kind of like a level 30, level 40 bandit pod, but they can go up, sometimes you might find like level 60 tigers, or level 50 bandits.
Yeah.
You get a lot more XP on different difficulties. Like if you're getting, let's say 50 or 100, let's see, I did some tests, and I was comparing back at level 10, but I was able to isolate captains of the same level, like level 11 defense captains. And a level 11 defense captain on normal was giving 60 XP. And on hard was giving 250 XP. And on chaos, I couldn't isolate it that well, but it looked like about 400 or 500 XP. So you can get significantly more XP by increasing the difficulty. But then they have much more HP and defense as well, and attack. There you can see how much harder they were to kill. So these, like this group up ahead, they're 5 levels below me, but this is on chaos. Normally it would insta-kill these easily on normal. But on chaos, you'll see I might not even be able to insta-kill them, even though they're 28 only. So not bad. The chief had about 1 HP bar left when I finished my surprise attack combo. So not quite enough to trigger a finisher, which is the main way that you can do basically one-hit kills, is that you do your surprise attack, you chain a combo, and you do just enough damage that with your first surprise attack combo you can trigger a finisher. So basically, in one chain, you kill the chief. But on chaos difficulty, you can see I was about 1 HP bar short of triggering the finisher. And I'll try it on these level 34 ones again. See if I can get a one-hit kill them. Want to get it on the... You see I'm trying to kind of aim it at the chief. That's not bad. With these bandits, it's really important to block. So the best way you can get an opening is you block, you wait for them to do their attack, and then you counter with a trigger launch. Like that. And that. Because if you attack them first, they're gonna interrupt the heck out of you.
Is this use PS4 Reg or PS4 Pro?
PS4 Pro. I guess it doesn't show. But you can change between either favoring resolution, which is called movie mode, or favoring frame rate, which is action mode. And this is on movie mode, so it's technically it's favoring resolution. I didn't notice a huge difference really between movie and action mode. The frame rate is kind of shitty in both. It's usually like 25 to 30 FPS. It's not really great in both. It's decent enough to be playable, but it's not great. But the resolution is pretty shitty at times in the frame rate mode. So maybe frame rate mode is good for original PS4, but I thought the movie mode looked better on the PS4 Pro. And the game kind of needs all the help it can get to look better. It's not really a great looking game. The game has its moments though. Like, I think the environment, the open world is pretty empty, but there are moments where there's almost like a realism to its emptiness. Like a lot of open worlds, they feel pretty fake because every 10 feet there's somebody with a question mark over their head trying to give you a quest. So there are kind of like serene moments, like nice atmosphere, because the game has a pretty nice day and night cycle and a pretty impressive amount of weather variety and some nice textures. Like I really like the geisha, like the girl, like it's not geisha, it's Japanese, but the concubines on his clothing, and some of the trees, everything, like a lot of the trees blow and there's always like dust storms. So the game has its moments where it looks nice. Helps a lot to turn off the HUD, because the mini-map and everything really makes it look shitty. I made about 310 Yibiqian Coins. That's about 3 epic accessories. And then, maybe 25 of these. That's about 250,000 gold. I think I've been playing about hour and a half. Hour and a half. Up to level 36. This is probably the fastest way to level up. You got, these are the best epic items for XP bonuses. And then I'm also playing on chaos difficulty. So level 36. And technically I'm still in chapter 1. So I'm just up here where they're level 30 to level 60 enemies spawn. You know, the boss of this chapter is like what? You know, probably level 5 or something. Level 10 maybe. But I wanted to... You only have to take over this area to do the story. And I went through and I took over every one of these camps. Because I really wanted to just like dominate the chapter story. It's all blue now. I don't think you really get a bonus, but and it seems that you cannot take over so much of the map that you make your NPCs strong enough to finish the story. Like, even though I've basically taken over the entire map and all the different camps, they've advanced to the final position. I think they're basically all stuck here waiting for me to finish the story. So your NPCs can take over smaller camps, and you keep taking over camps, and they can advance to the next camp and take this one over or take this one over on their own when you help them advance. But it seems that they kind of get stuck here, or not stuck, but they're all probably just standing around the outside waiting for me to come in and finish it. So it's kind of good though, because otherwise they would have probably finished the story on their own like 5 hours ago while I'm up here trying to level. So while I'm leveling, they kind of sit around back at the camp waiting for me to come finish the chapter. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how I do bandit farming. I'm gonna continue the story now. So I'm gonna take a break and then come back and finish chapter 1 and continue the story, because I think I'm leveled up enough for now. But yeah, that's how I do bandit farming with Big Dong Jow, and we'll continue the story in maybe 30 minutes or so.